Did you know, according to the American Foundation of Suicide, every 12.6 people out of every 100,000 people nationwide are taken by suicide, making it the country's 10th largest leading cause of death. I had to watch my grandfather experience depression, which led him to try to commit suicide. It wasn't successful, but it did put a big damper on not only me and our whole family, but his life as well. The American Foundation of Suicide also states that 90% of people that commit suicide have some mental disorder that goes unrecognized or untreated. And 30% to 70% of suicide victims suffer from major depression. My grandfather suffered from major depression and still does today. He watched his son die right in front of his eyes in 2006. They were both firefighters and they were both working the same fire, and as he suited up his son went into the fire and lost his life. That would scar probably anybody losing their own child. Ever since then, he's never been the same. And that is what's led him to be majorly depressed. Some signs of suicide that you need to look out for, if that comes down to it, is risk-taking behavior, depression, verbal threats towards themselves, and etc. It doesn't necessarily mean, sometimes they might not even talk about it. They might just be quiet and bundled up. But anything can happen, and you need to not be in denial about it. The day that my grandfather lost his son, he never was the same. It changed his whole life. Well, this past year on December 25th, 2014, I walked in on my grandfather trying to commit suicide. He was laying in his own vomit, overdosed on pills, and I saved his life. It's honestly the hardest thing I think I've ever done in my whole entire life. And the thing is I feel like it's partly my fault, because I didn't work as hard to try to help him as I probably should have. And this is some ways that you can help people next time if something ever like this happens to you, so I can also be better prepared. You can talk to them, you can listen to them, be available, get them help, show them interest. There's so many other things, make them feel wanted, that you can help. And the crazy thing is I blame myself every day because I should have listened more. And then the times that I did try, everyone else was in denial. And he told me he would never have done it. So I felt like, okay, I can trust him. I can trust everyone else. But that just made me in denial too. So it ended up causing more damage than it did any good, honestly. And honestly, I wish that I would have took better precaution and knew more of the warning signs, because no one, not even me, knew how depressed he was. And honestly, if you've never lost a kid, how could you? Even though you need to look for the leading causes and the warning signs and try to help as best as you can, there's only so much you can do personally, unless if they want to help themselves. But at the same time, even though I saved my grandpa's life, I still hold it over my head today that I should have done more. And if you've ever experienced something like this, or if this ever happens, you should be more aware, because it happens more than you think. I never thought my grandpa would do it. And heck, I'm depressed now myself, but I keep pushing forward because I know I have a lot more to live for. And every day, even though my grandpa's still here, and he did succeed thanks to me, I try to make him feel wanted and let him know that it will be okay and that his son's in a better place. So if this ever happens to anyone, you just need to be prepared, know what to look for, and how to help them.